Right now at 5, Arkansas State Police search for a suspect who killed 2 hikers at Devil's Den.
And our dangerous heat continues. However, there is relief on the way, and we could get a couple of pop-up storms today. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a head-on crash in Jasper County leaves a pickup truck in flames.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Tuesday. It's July the 29th.
Yes.
It's now Tuesday. August right around the corner, and August is going to feel a lot less like August compared to where we are right now and where we have been.
Sounds pretty nice.
I'm not hearing any complaints,
No.
honestly, but we've still got a couple of pretty nasty days to get through before we get some of that relief. Let's start with that live look outside in downtown Pittsburgh, and we have got a pretty decent start to the day, but otherwise it is mild. Temperature is still well above normal out there. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin looking good so far as well. Looking back to the south again, heat advisories as if we were surprised to see this. And now again at this point, the counties in southeast Kansas that fall under the Wichita office jurisdiction, your heat advisories are still set to expire this evening. So we'll see if they're extended or not because they've still got one more day of nasty heat. But at this point, they're set to expire this evening. Of course, the other ones from Springfield, they'll still continue through Wednesday. And as I've mentioned before, more than once, Tulsa goes day by day. So they'll expire this evening, probably go back into effect tomorrow because we're still in this zone of 105 to 110 degree heat index values where heat exhaustion is likely and heat stroke is possible out there. And of course, those that are more susceptible to this kind of heat, it can be more serious. Children, the elderly, those with certain medical conditions, and of course, you got to make sure you're keeping your pets inside as well. Future track, well, clear skies through about noon, 1 o'clock, then we'll start to go somewhat partly cloudy. And as you see here, an isolated pop-up storm or two is possible. Future track is putting them better chances, which again, they're slim, but putting slightly better chances east of the US 69 corridor. But as we've discussed before, they really could flare up anywhere across the area as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. And the best window at this point is between about 2 and 7 today. We're sitting at 77 in Joplin, 75 in Pittsburgh, a couple of degree improvement from yesterday, but it's actually going to be hotter later today. Look at Chanute. It is 5:02 a.m. and it is 80 degrees in Chanute right now. We do have some cool spots. We've got some low 70s in some of our southern counties, which is also kind of backwards. Usually it's cooler north and warmer south, but most of us upper 70s as we start this day. All right, so clear skies again through about noon, 1 o'clock. Then we'll start to have those pop-up storm chances. Mid-80s by 9, low 90s by noon. And we're going into the mid to upper 90s today. And some of us could even reach 100 degrees for our high with a west wind at about 5 to 10. And as I've mentioned more than once over the last couple of weeks, heat index values 105 to 110 degrees possible. This heat continues one more day. And then we're going to get a bit of a break. We're going to talk about that and the storm chances that go along with it here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, police in Arkansas are searching for a suspect in the deaths of a couple who investigators said were attacked while on a wooded walking trail with their 2 young daughters. All trails at Devil's Den State Park in Washington County, Arkansas remain closed as the investigation continues. A husband and wife, 43-year-old Clinton Brink and 41-year-old Kristen Brink, were hiking with their daughters, ages 7 and 9, when the attack happened on Saturday. Authorities say the couple died protecting their children. The victims' bodies were sent to the Arkansas State Crime Lab to determine the official cause and manner of death. State police say the suspect is believed to be a white man of medium build, wearing dark pants, a long-sleeved shirt with sleeveless rolled up, a baseball cap, sunglasses, and fingerless gloves. He is also believed to be driving a black 4-door sedan. Witnesses say the description came from people inside the park, not from video or surveillance. And a convicted killer faces new charges after deputies say he attacked a neighbor in Carl Junction. Jasper County Sheriff's deputies arrested 46-year-old Dustin Fanning last night after witnesses say he chased his girlfriend with a hatchet and threatened to harm everyone in a home on State Highway 96. They say when the homeowner tried to take the hatchet away, Fanning punched the man in the head and then started breaking windows. Officers found Fanning hiding in nearby woods and arrested him for assault and burglary. Manning previously served time for killing his 78-year-old father in 2008. We have more details on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The investigation continues into the cause of a head-on crash late last night in Jasper County. Reports came in just after 11 p.m. concerning a head-on crash which left a pickup on fire on Central City Road near Daylight Lane. Authorities say a car crossed the center line and struck the pickup. First responders said the resulting flames reached the height of nearby utility poles. The driver of the pickup managed to climb out without suffering any visible injuries. The driver of the car was taken to an area hospital where she was listed in serious condition. Carl Junction firefighters extinguished the fire and washed gas and oil from the roadway. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Harvard researchers reveal a troubling link. People facing financial hardship and food insecurity have higher rates of long COVID. Plus, a police officer dies responding to a Manhattan office building shooting. The gunman from Las Vegas takes his own life after the attack. And high temperatures continue right here in the 4 states. Chris returns with another look at your forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Time now 5:06. We'll be right back. And topping Nation Watch, a deadly shooting in a Manhattan office building. Jesse Mitchell has the details.
Somebody said gunshots, shooter.
A desperate attempt for answers after a deadly mass shooting at a Midtown Manhattan office building Monday night.
345 Park Avenue is a commercial office building whose tenants include the NFL, Rudin Management, KPMG, and Blackstone.
Police say multiple people are dead,
including a member of the New York City Police Department, Officer Islam.
This after a male suspect exited a black BMW on Park Avenue between 51st and 52nd Street, carrying an M4 rifle as he entered the building.
The building's security camera footage shows the shooter enter the lobby, turn right, and immediately open fire on an NYPD officer. He goes up to the 33rd floor, which is Rudin Management, and begins to walk the floor, firing rounds. He then proceeds down a hallway and shoots himself in the chest.
Law enforcement say the suspect is a 27-year-old with a Las Vegas address and a documented mental health history. The suspect's vehicle was searched.
Inside of that vehicle, officers found a rifle case with rounds and medication.
These pictures show the inside of an office on the 33rd floor where workers barricaded themselves with couches to avoid the shooter.
We believe this to be a lone shooter, and there is no longer an active threat to the public.
Investigations into a possible motive continue. In New York, Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Well, still to come, Anthony Mackie promises high-octane action in Twisted Metal Season 2, plus Heidi Klum's Project Runway comeback, and a K-pop star's military enlistment. Plus, Chris returns with another look at your Tuesday forecast from the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Now, from explosions in the Twisted Metal arena to catwalk comebacks on Project Runway, and a K-pop superstar saying farewell for now to the stage. Nick Zachovic has your eye on entertainment.
Buckle up for more chaos. The wild ride continues in Twisted Metal Season 2. John and Quiet enter the deadly Twisted Metal tournament, a high-octane demolition derby led by a mysterious man known as Calypso.
Season 2 is just like this potpourri of ignited, dangerous explosions and, spine-tingling, bust your head open beats.
There it is.
The first episode starts streaming this Thursday. K-pop star and actor Cha Yoon-woo is hitting pause on his career. The 28-year-old Astro member officially enlisted in the Korean Army Monday to fulfill his mandatory military service. Cha will serve in the Army's brass band after 5 weeks of basic training.
I see you all on the runway. Let's start the show.
Strike a pose. Heidi Klum is back. The 21st season of Project Runway is served in fashion with a side of drama. Christian Siriano, Season 4 winner, now joins as a mentor and host, and he says having Klum back is a full circle moment.
When Heidi left was a big difference for the show. And Heidi started Project Runway. It was kind of her idea. So having her come back is really important. I think it just feels great.
Expect big personalities and bigger battles around the sewing machines when the new season kicks off later this week. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Nick Zechevich, CBS Los Angeles.
Certainly a lot to look forward to, some great shows ahead. Let's head it over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got another very warm start to the day, another dangerously hot day ahead of us, and that will include tomorrow. And then, as I've talked about, changes are on the way. We're going to break down those changes when we come back. Time now is 5:16. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:18 now on this Tuesday morning, and we've got some stuff to show you on the future track. It's something we haven't had to pull out for a while because there hasn't been a lot to talk about. As we head into this afternoon, roughly between about, say 2 and 7, we'll have an opportunity for an isolated pop-up storm or two. The majority of us will remain dry, but we'll have that chance. And future track is suggesting maybe a couple of heavier showers late this evening into McDonald and Berry counties. Not very likely, but it's a possibility out there. As we go into Wednesday, though, Wednesday's where things change. Initially for the worst as we get a little hotter, and then it gets better after this front pushes through overnight into Thursday. So you can see we've got the southerly breeze, southwest winds out there. As we head into the afternoon, another round of initially isolated pop-up storms. So once again, for a good portion of tomorrow, we will be dry, we will be hot, we will be muggy, we will be miserable. But then take a look as we go a little further into the afternoon, early evening, more of these little pop-up storms. They're still isolated. There's still large portions of the area not receiving rainfall, but we're seeing more activity flare up. And that is thanks to an approaching cold front that eventually is going to bring us thunderstorm chances. So here's what we've got. By 7, maybe some storms around the Nevada area and then back off again into our northwestern counties. Now, yesterday, it had these moving in at about as early as 5. You can see now they're moving in at about 7, still somewhat consistent, which is some good news in terms of the activity. Just now it's about 2 hours later than what we were looking at yesterday, but we still get this thunderstorm complex that by 8 is just to the west of Fort Scott, stretching back toward Iola, Chanute, and just outside of Fredonia. This complex, this one though, the other changes, as you can see, a lot of it initially is staying to the northern half of the area, whereas the other one took a more southeasterly dive from Yates Center through Chanute, Parsons, Pittsburgh, Joplin, down toward Cassville. Now we've got this complex, the main focus here, in some of our northeastern counties, Nevada, Lamar, Stockton. And the other thing is right now it's a very slim area, but we do have a very low risk for a strong storm or two. Again, this could change. It might change. It'll depend on what exactly we're looking at on the track of this first thunderstorm complex. Then, as you see, we go later into the evening, around 10, 11 o'clock, we get new development along the front itself. You can see the wind shift line, and we have new thunderstorms again after about 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow night going into early Thursday morning. So by Thursday, 2 a.m., kind of riding the I-44 corridor with another round of showers and thunderstorms that could continue south of I-44 towards sunrise on Thursday before those begin to clear on out. Thursday, we're looking right now, future tracks heading at pop-up storms. We might get a few additional scattered storms, so maybe a little bit more rain, and will be mostly cloudy through a good portion of our Thursday as well, which means we're going to be a little cooler. So how much cooler are we going to be? Well, let's take a look at our future heat index values for today. Again, that 105 to 110 degree range. That process will repeat again tomorrow as we go back to 105 to 110 degree heat index values. But my favorite part of this whole thing is when we get into Thursday. So you see the heat rising on Thursday. So some of our southern counties might get a little bit warmer. We do have some heat index values still possibly 100 to 105, but these are not actual feels like temperatures. These match the air temperature. So by Thursday in the evening, 79. Yates Center and Iola. And then take a look at Friday. Look at these heat index values for then. Some of them, again, not even heat index values. And at worst, we're looking at 90 to 95 degree heat index values by Friday. Of course, our heat advisories continue, the latest of these through Wednesday. Again, Wichita covers these counties in Kansas. This is still set to expire this evening. Could it be extended? I'd say it's at least a possibility. But right now, it's still set to expire this evening out there. But it doesn't mean it's not going to be hot tomorrow. And a reminder, KOAMNewsNow.com. KOAM.com/forecast. That's where you'll find all of our heat safety graphics. So clear skies through the morning, low 80s by 8, low 90s by 11 o'clock this morning. Our highs today, again, mid to upper 90s out there. We'll have a southerly breeze at about 5 to 10 out there. Near 100 for our highs tomorrow. Pop-up storms initially, then those evening storms. Look at these temperatures into the weekend. We're actually falling below normal with some additional pop-up storms Monday, Tuesday. Now, it doesn't last. We are still in summer. We're going to heat back up next week, but we've got a beautiful lead into this upcoming weekend with much more comfortable temperatures. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. So people from lower income backgrounds are at greater risk for developing long COVID. Researchers from Harvard and Brigham and Women's Hospital found people experiencing financial hardship, food insecurity, and healthcare access challenges at a higher risk for developing long COVID. The study highlights how social disparities in health can become even worse during a pandemic. Well, new research suggests there are things we can do to lower our risk of cognitive decline and dementia. A study published in JAMA found adults over 60 at risk of cognitive decline can improve their brain health through diet, moderate to high intensity physical exercise, social engagement, and monitoring their cardiovascular health. People who followed those steps showed improved memory and executive function compared to those who didn't. And people who walk to stay healthy may want to pick up the pace. A study published in the American Journal of Preventative Medicine found that walking fast for just 15 minutes a day boosts heart efficiency, lowers body weight, and lowers your risk of death by 20%. Researchers say the benefits are even greater among low-income and Black communities. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, Miami's Economic Development Service releases housing study results. The city needs hundreds of affordable homes to meet demand.
And another hot and muggy day across the area. We'll take a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a new recreation center opens in Webb City. The W Club features basketball, pickleball, volleyball, and multi-purpose rooms for the community.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:27. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Tuesday, July the 29th, and another hot day for us. Pretty hot yesterday.
Yes.
It's going to be hot again today. It's going to be hot again tomorrow, and then we'll get a little bit of a break, which I know that's the big thing on everybody's mind right now is that break that is on the way, but we still have to get through today and tomorrow first.
Yes, we do.
Now,
Certainly do.
unfortunately. So hopefully you're still taking care of yourselves out there, staying hydrated, taking breaks and stuff, because at least today and tomorrow you still got to continue that trend. Let's start outside with a live look from downtown Pittsburgh. It's looking pretty good so far this morning. We've got relatively clear skies. Temperatures again above average by a fair amount. There's our average low about 70, 71. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin also looking good. Looking back to the south right now. Here's what we've got. Heat advisories continuing across the area. So again, there are 5 National Weather Service offices that cover our 15-county area here. So that's why it gets a little confusing sometimes. We've got Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties, south and then southwest Missouri, covered by Springfield. These expire tomorrow evening. They'll run through tomorrow evening, rather. Now, for the Wichita portion of southeast Kansas, these heat advisories are set to expire this evening. Could they be extended? I'd say it's a possibility. We'll see exactly how that plays out. But even if they do allow them to expire tonight and they don't put them back into place, it's still going to be hot tomorrow. So don't let that get, don't let your guard down. Don't think, oh, well, the heat advisory's gone. It's better. It's not going to be better that fast. And of course, Tulsa, day by day, but they should be back in place again tomorrow. Heat index values today, tomorrow still 105 to 110. Heat exhaustion likely, heat stroke possible. You've got to play it safe out there. Now today, between about 2 and 7, an isolated pop-up storm will be possible. We're otherwise still just dry, hot, and muggy. And with the isolated nature of those storms, the majority of us will remain dry dry, hot, and muggy. 77 in Joplin, 75 in Pittsburgh. Quick look at temperatures around the region. Again, Chanute sitting at 80 degrees this morning. Do have some low 70s out there, but most of us into the mid to upper 70s. We're going to cruise right into the mid 80s rather by 9 a.m., low 90s by noon, mid to upper 90s for our highs today. Those pop-up storm chances, west winds 5 to 10. That relief, it's going to feel so much nicer in a couple more days. We'll go over those details and the storm chances that go along with it here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a new study indicates Miami, Oklahoma needs more housing. A new study says that the Miami Economic Development Service commissioned a study last year assessing housing needs. Now the results of that study are made public. The study indicates the Miami area needs between 500 and 600 new homes. Most of those homes need to be in the $100,000 to $200,000 range. Well, King Jack Park in Webb City celebrates a new 17,000 square foot recreation and community center called the W Club. The city marked the opening with a ribbon cutting from Gibson Barron and a local Webb City girl who finished third in the nation in the hoop shoot competition. The new facility features a basketball court, pickleball and volleyball net, not to mention a concession stand and multi-purpose room. Now, one official says they hope everyone discovers the club is a place to have fun. Well, a ribbon cutting ceremony in Pittsburgh yesterday celebrates some new pickleball courts. The Four Oaks Sports Complex hosted the event for the grand opening of the brand new Johnson family pickleball courts. The courts honor Julie J.W. Georgia Johnson and their coach Jack Johnson, often referred to as Pittsburgh's first family of pickleball. Now, while the Johnsons have made their mark on the world stage, they're now making history right here at home. Following the ceremony, the family played a round of pickleball with the community and signed some autographs. The city of Nevada, Missouri will soon begin enforcing a code for owners of pools and hot tubs. Home pools became even more popular among residents following the closure of the city's aquatic center, with the new one not expected to open until 2027. As KOAM's Samantha Walker reports, city staff are citing safety concerns, especially among children, as the reason behind this new enforcement plan.
With this summer heat, a popular way to cool off is by taking a swim in a pool. But the city of Nevada says they're going to begin enforcing a code that impacts the owners of pools, hot tubs, and spas, a decision that's making waves among some residents.
This particular rule is not meant to be something that gives the city more power or anything of that sort. It's meant to provide safety for children and adults. And people who can swim or cannot swim.
The city of Nevada will begin enforcing International Property Maintenance Code 303.2. That means if your pool, hot tub, or spa holds more than 2 feet of water, it must be fully enclosed with a fence at least 4 feet tall and include a self-closing, self-latching gate. City staff say many cities across the country enforce that code. Recent complaints from community members is encouraging Nevada to do the same.
Why aren't you, the city, enforcing it? And it's kind of hard to argue against that when it's on our books already. It's not unusual to hear about, to read about deaths in swimming pools of children where they climb in when adults aren't nearby. This would help resolve that issue.
On social media, some Nevada residents expressed frustration over this announcement, saying it should be up to parents to keep their children safe, not homeowners. City staff say the city has an obligation to try and ensure safety for all community members.
It's something that governments can do. We do it for cars speeding too fast. It's meant to protect citizens.
For residents who don't wish to build a fence, there is an exemption for those with certain hot tub or pool covers. Those coverings need to comply with specific standards for how much weight that cover holds, ensures no objects pass through, and that water doesn't pool on the surface. Residents with questions are encouraged to reach out to city staff.
This one is a life and safety issue, and probably more aimed at children to protect children.
Reporting in Nevada, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Now, city staff say they are giving residents time to comply with this code, with enforcement beginning in May of next year. Residents will need to get a fence permit from the city by October. A sweet moment for a good cause. Young Sebastian Green is getting a first taste at giving back. The Granby boy created his own blizzard ahead of Miracle Treat Day at Dairy Queen on 32nd Street in Joplin. Sebastian was diagnosed with autism at age 3. Now he has received support from Children's Miracle Network. Now on July 31st, $1 from every blizzard sold will go to Freeman Health System to help kids in the 4 states.
Miracle Treat Day is just such a fun day at Dairy Queen. $1 from every blizzard sold comes back to Children's Miracle Network. What kiddo doesn't love ice cream? What adult doesn't love ice cream? We have such a fun day, and then know that it's always going to a great cause.
Sebastian gave the blizzard he made to his grandma. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News.
A dessert from the Middle East is making big waves across the U.S. I'm Jared Hill with why so many people are hopping on the Dubai chocolate craze.
Plus, Applebee's, Buffalo Wild Wings, and Popeyes offer free chicken wings today. Your guide to National Chicken Wing Day deals. We'll have the latest. The time now, 5:35. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. On Consumer Watch, European Union has reached a trade deal, and it's getting mixed reactions from member countries and economists. Hungary sharply criticized the agreement, saying President Trump ate the EU for breakfast. French officials complain the deal is unbalanced and unequal, while German and Italian politicians say it offers predictability and avoids a trade war. Some economists predict the agreement will slow growth and say it's also problematic because it contains vague details that are open to interpretation. Well, a hack affecting the women-only dating advice app T was more serious than previously disclosed. The company said yesterday users' direct messages were breached as well as some of their photos. T says tens of thousands of images and messages were accessed. The company has taken the affected system offline. And it's National Chicken Wing Day. Now, what does that mean for you? Well, free chicken wings, of course. You can buy one order of wings at Applebee's online and get another one free. Buffalo Wild Wings get 6 free wings on them with a $10 order by using the promo code Free Wings. And at Popeyes, score big. Score 6 bone-in wings free with a 6-wing purchase. Well, if you haven't heard of this new chocolate craze, your kids might have. Dubai Chocolate, a Middle Eastern infused dessert, is taking the world by storm. You can only buy the original in the UAE, but CBS's Jared Hill visited a bakery in New York that's putting their own spin on the viral trend.
Decadent, wow, distinctive, and bursting out of Dubai.
It just came to the United States and it's just like all over the place.
The Dubai chocolate trend is tickling taste buds around the globe. It was actually this TikTok that first introduced the world to the original, a block of milk chocolate oozing with green pistachio cream and crunchy shredded phyllo dough. Created to soothe the pregnancy craving by the owner of Dubai-based Fix Chocolatier.
Okay.
At New York's Sweet Graffiti,
They're the higher sellers, everything that is Dubai.
pastry chef Romina Pixoto is in overdrive, cranking out her version, with the original pretty much only sold in Dubai.
Now you're gonna fill each cavity with chocolate.
So she put me to work to help stock up. What do you think makes yours special, better, different?
I think that the ingredients that I use, they're high quality ingredients.
The Dubai chocolate, okay.
Bridget Capel had never heard of the bar until her daughter, Kate, saw it on social media. Kate never had it either, but she knew she needed to try it on her trip to New York.
Because it looks so good, and just like seeing everyone try it and like their reactions.
So what does Dubai chocolate taste like?
It's soft and you can really tell the pistachios are there. Very delicate, really good.
As companies continue to ride the wave, Chef Pixoto is hoping to bake one of her own.
Create new flavors and see if that like crazy spark in somebody.
A search for a sweet viral moment that breeds blockbuster success. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
The speed of the Dubai chocolate craze has bred many copycats and some scams. The originator says they do not have a website, authorized resellers, or franchises in any other country. And that's a look at Consumer Watch. Let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, got a nice look from downtown Pittsburgh this morning. Again, skies are clear. It is very warm outside as well. A couple more hot days ahead of us, and then we'll finally get a little bit of relief. We'll have a look at your forecast when we come back. Time now is 5:42.
Well, did you know certain breeds of dogs are more likely to be overweight? See what one study found in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. President Trump and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen announcing a new trade deal over the weekend. Now, it raises tariffs on most European goods to 15%. The White House sending out a fact sheet about it, saying the EU will purchase $750 billion in U.S. energy and make new investments of $600 billion in the U.S. by the year 2028. And when it comes to ag, officials say the two sides intend to work together to address non-tariff barriers affecting trade in food and agricultural products. That includes streamlining requirements for sanitary certificates for U.S. pork and dairy products. And General Mills is releasing a new meal that mixes the best of summer and winter foods, announcing the launch of Progresso Pitmaster. Now, it's a line of barbecue-inspired soups, and it comes in 5 varieties: barbecue style, hearty smokehouse, sausage and beer cheese with potatoes, smokehouse style, and steakhouse style. They're available at major retailers nationwide. And is your dog overweight? A new study from Texas A&M University says certain breeds are more likely to have extra pounds. They say retrievers, spaniels, and setters are about 10% more likely to be motivated by food, and those dogs were more likely to be overweight. In comparison, bulldogs, Dalmatians, and poodles were the least likely to be motivated by food. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Here's Chris now with the full look at your forecast.
It's going to be another very hot day across the area tomorrow, even hotter. And then we get a little bit of a break, and we'll even have some below normal temperatures ahead of us, which will be nice. It'll be short-lived, but it will certainly beat having the very hot temperatures. Future track. Some things to talk about today. Between approximately, let's say 2 and 7, 2 and 6, could get an isolated pop-up storm or two out there. Once we start to get a little later into the evening, those chances fizzle out. That's it. It's done. That's going to be the end of the story for today. Not much relief out there. Now, tomorrow, things do begin to change a bit because we have a cold front approaching, and that's what's going to help us out a little bit. Of course, it's a summertime cold front, so as we discussed yesterday, too, our temperatures won't plummet, which is honestly probably a good thing. I don't think that'd be good for roads, for example, to have the temperatures plummet. Wouldn't be good for us to have the temperatures plummet, but we do have shower and thunderstorm chances that go along with this front. Now, initially, we're looking at just pop-up storms as we head into tomorrow afternoon. They'll be isolated. Not everybody will get something. A little later in the day, by about 5, there's a few more of these little pop-up storms out there. Still good portions of the area expected to be dry. And then we see our thunderstorm chances increase. Now, yesterday's future track showed the thunderstorm complex already into Greenwood and Coffee counties by 5. That's changed. The complex is still showing up. Its path has changed a bit, and its timing has changed, but it's still roughly the same looking thunderstorm complex, just a slightly different timing here. So by 7, that's when we're looking at that thunderstorm complex start pushing into our northwestern counties. Then we go to about 8, and the original one moved in around Yates Center by 5 and dove southeast across the area from Yates Center to Cassville as we went through Wednesday. Now it's staying a little further north as well. This complex, instead of really diving southeast, it's looking to take a more easterly track and kind of just flow right along the 54 corridor. Still set to expand a bit in coverage as well as it rolls east. So by 10, heavier thunderstorms, Nevada, Lamar, Stockton could get a strong storm or two out of this. Nothing serious at this point, but something we'll keep an eye on for you, of course. And then some scattered storms back behind it. That is with the cold front itself approaching. As the cold front itself gets here, and we'll see new thunderstorm development, say after about 11 o'clock midnight, and it'll be right along the Kansas-Oklahoma border and the I-44 corridor stretching back into Missouri. Again, maybe a strong storm or two, not looking at anything too crazy, just some showers, some thunderstorms, just really early in the morning. So a bit of a loud start for Thursday. This activity should be pushing south of I-44 more towards sunrise on Thursday, and then it clears out. There's some debate on exactly, and by debate, I don't mean people sitting around the table. I mean with the computer models, there's some disagreement. Let's go with that one. As to exactly what will play out for the rest of Thursday, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures much cooler, in fact, below normal. Now, this future track is suggesting just isolated pop-up storms across the region. However, some data suggesting maybe some isolated to widely scattered storms. So again, not everybody necessarily getting rain Thursday, but a few more thunderstorm chances than what's showing up right now on future tracks. So we'll see how that pans out, but not expecting anything strong or severe with that activity. Here's the best part. Not this part, but in a couple of days. Heat index values today, again, 105 to 110. We go into Wednesday, 105 to 110, and then that cold front pushes through. Now, Thursday, early, might still be a bit on the warm side along and south of I-44, but the rest of us, take a look. These aren't even really heat index values. Our temperature and feels like temperature, our air temperature and feels like will be pretty much the same. Heat advisories, again, the latest of these continuing through Wednesday. Much of southeast Kansas set to expire this evening. It wouldn't surprise me if they get reissued for one more day, but something we'll keep an eye on there as well. Of course, at KOAMNewsNow.com on our forecast page, and of course in our app, we'll have a number of those heat safety graphics out there, which hopefully tomorrow will be the last time you'll have to look at them for a little while. Beautiful sunrise this morning, 7th and Rangeline. Clear skies out there. Low 80s by 8, warming up quickly though. Low 90s by 11 this morning. Again, partly cloudy skies, pop-up storm chances, upper 90s, near 100 tomorrow. And then take a look at Thursday, upper 80s, and then look at this weekend. Low to mid 80s out there, below normal, which is not something we've said for a while. However, as I mentioned as well, it is short-lived. Some pop-up storm chances next Monday and Tuesday, and then we see the temperatures climbing back into the mid-90s by the second half of next week. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with sports.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, yesterday, Emporia State hosted the 2025 MIAA Football Media Day. KOAM Sports Director Ryan Blank spoke with the coaches and players from the Gorillas and Lions, providing a preview of the upcoming season.
MIAA Media Day has come and gone here in Emporia. For Pitt State and Missouri Southern State, this year is all about having key pieces back for one more run. Starting with the Gorillas, they get running back Cleo Chandler Jr. and safety Ryan Medeiros back for one more run. The two, who are now named captains, are ready to make a run at a national title after using their last year of eligibility to stay with Pitt State.
Last year, a little disappointed in our season. We definitely brought the culture back the last 3 years, I'd say, but like I said, getting over that hump, we just got to get over that second round, first round of playoffs, and our expectation is a national championship, and we know we have the ability and the people around us to do that.
They're a testament just to the process of college football, right? In this day and age of transfer, of this NIL stuff, you know, to have two guys that you recruited, came in as high school seniors for you, redshirted, went through the development process, maybe didn't play much their first few years here and just kept working and working. To see those guys rewarded as team captains, I think is really, really cool. You know, their teammates voted them captains, but then obviously they've been huge contributors for us over the last couple of years on offense and defense as well. So just excited to see both those guys hopefully have great senior seasons.
As for the Lions, they also get a key piece back in their backfield. Nathan Glades is returning for a fifth year and will be back in action after missing all of last season due to a torn ACL.
When I talk about it, it's just so exciting because it's like I've played football for 18 years of my life, and then it's like you get that taken away from you in that year. It's like, what do I do in that sense? But you know, I figured it out. I found my way on how to be more of a faithful man in that sense to the Lord, and then how to be a better man overall. Getting a rundown and everything, like I get pumped when I talk about it because it's like that's what I want. I want to be able to feel, you know, the love from the community again and be able to be with my teammates and do those kind of things and play games like that.
The Gorillas kick off their season in 1 month at Ferris State. The Lions begin just 2 days later against Midwestern State. That's a look at sports. We'll be right back. Well, one walk across America was not enough for a Florida man on a mission to promote mental health awareness. Kendall Ray Edwards began walking in January 2022 from Jacksonville Beach to Long Beach, Washington, covering nearly 3,300 miles over 15 months. Now his new goal is to reach the four corners of the country while fundraising on foot to support mental health and recovery. A University of Colorado Boulder football coach, Deion Sanders, revealed yesterday that he was diagnosed with an aggressive form of bladder cancer, but doctors now consider him cured after undergoing surgery. The NFL Hall of Famer had his bladder removed and recreated after a urologist found and removed a high-risk tumor. Sanders opted for the surgery because this form of cancer has a very high reoccurrence rate. During a news conference with his medical team, Sanders' oncologist declared the cancer has been beaten, and Sanders hopes others will learn from his experience.
And we've got another hot one across the area. Beautiful sunrise, though. That's been the one thing, Elise mentioned it a couple of days ago. We've had some gorgeous sunrises on some of the most uncomfortable days across the region. Low 80s to start, low 90s by 11 a.m. We'll have clear skies, hot conditions, clear through noon. Then we'll start to go a little partly cloudy. Isolated, and I mean very isolated, pop-up storm chances between about 2 and 6, 2 and 7. Our highs today, upper 90s, west winds 5 to 10. Heat index values 105 to 110 again. We'll have mostly clear skies later in the evening, and then clear skies overnight. Still very warm, mid-80s by 10, upper 70s tonight. Winds should be calm or maybe light out of the southeast, but nothing too crazy for us. By tomorrow, pop-up storm chances initially, then we get more scattered storm chances late in the evening and into the overnight hours. Still dangerously hot, near 100 for our high. Heat index value still 105 to 110, but a cold front comes through overnight, brings us the rain, brings us much cooler weather. Upper 80s Thursday, temperatures below normal into the weekend before we start to heat up again next week. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.